Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this morning? This evening? Look how rough I look. Oh my Lord. Merry Christmas. It is 5:47 a.m. I just filled up my gas tank and I snoozed the alarm for like 2 hours tonight. And Alex got, I'm surprised he didn't get mad. He got laughing so hard because I was like, 5 more minutes. And what was so funny about it was that when we were laying down last night, I was like talking for the dogs, like, you know, as I do sometimes. And I said, and Tucker was like laying across my chest. And so I said, Tukey, I call him Tukey sometimes. I said, Tukey, I said, tell your dad how many 5 more minutes we did today. And he said, oh my Lord, Dad. And Alex goes, I bet. Because 5 more minutes is like when I get up in the morning. So I set 2 alarms. I actually set 3 because I set 2 in my phone. I set them like 15 minutes apart. And then I set this alarm clock across the way that I have to actually get up and like hit. So it turns off. It's like this real cheap like Walmart alarm, you know? But it's like one of those super loud, you know what I mean? And so when I'm like stumbling back to the bed after I hit it, Boo Radley does not get up. He just stays in his little circle and like, you know, all like tightly closed up because he's like so comfy. But Tucker always like stands up, like, are we up now? And I always go, and I like stumble back to the bed. I'm like, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. And then Tucker, like, when I lay down, he like lays down right next to me in the same spot. And so he knows like 5 more minutes means, he knows what it means. So anyway, there were lots of 5 more minutes yesterday. Like an hour and a half worth of 5 more minutes. Anyway, I'm wide awake because I fell asleep last night at like 11 something. And, yeah, I don't even know what time. I was gonna say maybe closer to midnight, but I actually think it was like 11:20 or 11:30. I'm trying to think of when I set my alarm. Well, I guess I could look and see when I set my alarm, but, yeah, maybe it was closer to midnight. I don't know, but we laid in bed and talked forever. And, so I had set my alarm for like 1 o'clock or 12:30. I can't even remember now. Well, here, I'll look and tell you. I slept so deep. Oh, my alarm error is, I deleted it already, so. Yeah, I don't know. But I slept so deep. And every time I woke up, the little doggies were being so sweet. And Alex kept on like patting my arm. He was like, babe, you have to go vlog. Babe, aren't you gonna go vlog? And I would say 5 more minutes. And he would get laughing so hard in the middle of his sleep. He started laughing. He was like, okay. I still have my entire coffee from yesterday because I did a review really late. And I did this review of the candy cane cold brew, which I actually really liked. And so I drank that whole coffee last night, like going to my meeting and stuff. And then, so I have like this whole coffee is full. I have so many things to do today, you guys. Let me just tell you. I already have my lip gloss out and ready. So, well, first I have to vlog. And then, I was just thinking, I wish I had brought my hat with me. But I can go home and start uploading the vlog and get my hat. Because I could have done my booktube video, because I want to do a booktube vlog today. And then a review of some kind of Starbucks drink. The problem with doing Starbucks really early in the morning is it's so busy. Well, maybe it won't be today, because it's like the day before Christmas Eve. I don't know. And people aren't really maybe going to work. But I wanted to do a Starbucks review today. Because I thought if I did it this morning, then I could do another one, and then I would have one up for tomorrow as well. We'll see. Don't press your luck. We'll see. I'd kind of decided today, well, you know, Tuesday, I kind of decided that I just wasn't going to post. Besides my vlog, I will be posting my vlog. But I just wasn't going to post any videos in my other channels on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Because I hadn't really thought ahead to like pre-film the videos. And we have like stuff that we're doing. So I was like, I don't think people will probably really care anyway, and of course I'll still film my vlogs, right? So I was like, you know, it is what it is. I'm excited for Christmas. I feel like every person I talk to is just like such a Debbie Downer when it comes to Christmas. They're like, or a Dan Downer, I guess, or whatever. Like every person is just like, oh yeah, I'm like not really, and I understand, like, this is like not, I don't know, I'm just like excited for Christmas, even if it just means that we're gonna drink some eggnog and listen to some Christmas music, you know, or watch a Christmas movie. I love Christmas. And today, all day, oh, you guys, this is so fun. I have to tell you this. So last night when I got done vlogging, if you stay till the very end of my vlog, last night you'll know this because I actually tagged it on to the very end. I turned off my vlog and I turned on the Radio Classics channel. And they were playing It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart. Well, you know what came on right after that? Now, I listened to my audiobook last night. I finished an audiobook, but they played Miracle on 34th Street, was right after that. I was so excited. So, like, all day today, I have been listening to the Radio Classics off and on. Right now, they're playing Lights Out. Arch Obler. That's like a scary show. So I'm gonna listen to it off and on today. So, okay, I have today my videos that I want to make for, I would like to make a video for every one of my channels today. I don't know that that's gonna happen. I then need to go to the grocery store today, to just get some like little nibbles and things for around our house, for the next couple days. I actually, because Caroline asked me to bring rolls from Taylor's Bakery. So if you watched why is this car like on my tail, my lord? Here, just, oh my God, he's passing me already and I have, okay. So Caroline asked me to bring rolls from Taylor's Bakery, which I can see now that this like joke has turned into like, this is gonna be my thing every holiday, is to be bringing rolls from Taylor's Bakery, which is totally fine. I mean, it's 2 minutes from our house. And so she was like, will you bring a dessert for Christmas Day dinner too? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I was like, well, I hope when I get there that they still have rolls. I said I didn't even think about that. And Caroline was like, just order it online. And I said, you can order their stuff online? And she was like, yeah, which is really funny because I just got like tagged in some kind of email. I didn't even really understand it. Somebody contacted Taylor's Bakery to see if they sent, because I had done a review on my review channel. So they contacted Taylor's Bakery to see if Taylor's Bakery took like orders and would like mail them somewhere. And they were, so, and they had like included me in this email because somehow it's like CC'd it to me because of my review, which was so nice. And Taylor's Bakery was like, no, but we'll keep a lookout for Peter Monn and blah, 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 whatever. It was really this nice email. So anyway, what was I gonna say? So I knew that you could like order stuff online because I had gotten that email. Well, then Caroline said she just always orders it online, which is so funny because then I was talking to Melissa, because Melissa goes there too. And Melissa was like, oh yeah, I always just order it online. She was like, I think it, like, they started doing it more with like COVID. She was like, but you could do it before that too. So I had got online last night after I got done vlogging, and I ordered a Santa Claus cake. It's like a big face of Santa Claus. And I got white cake, because Alex loves white cake. I love white cake too. And I got a pumpkin pie. And I got a bag of dinner rolls. And then I got Alex and I a toffee sweetheart roll, which I usually get the Roslyn ones. You can still get them at Kroger, but it's what I grew up on, the sweetheart rolls for Christmas morning. And It came to, you guys, are you ready? It came to $51. I told Caroline that, and she was like, well, I don't really think that that's that bad, honestly, for all of that. I said, I guess not, but anyway. The pie and stuff was expensive. The cake was $16 or $17, and the pie was $16 or $17. Their desserts are fantastic, though. So, I got that, and I have to go pick that up tomorrow. And on Christmas Eve, I have to pick that up. So it'll be really fresh. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. I have to do that tomorrow. And then today, these are all the things I have to do. You guys, okay. I, honest to God, do not know how I'm going to make this happen. I really don't. But I have like 30 plus cameos that I have to do. I haven't even looked. I might have more now, but I have like 30 plus cameos that I have to do in time for Christmas. Okay, but here's the thing. I'm not going to be doing any of them on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, so I have to do all 30 cameos today. Well, I try to make them all really special and make them anywhere from like 3 to 5 minutes. So you do the time, the math on that. That's a lot of time, okay? And I can't like I just sit down and do 30 in a row. Well, first of all, like that would be hard to do. But so I'm gonna try to do like 3 or 4 an hour over the span of like 10 hours today. I think is how I'm gonna plan doing it. I told Alex, Alex gets off work early today. He's done at like 2:30. And then I think he's gonna meet up with a friend for lunch. And then he has like a late meeting, but it's just like a check-in meeting with one of his contracts and places that he has. And that's gonna only be like a half an hour, and then he'll be home. And he's so excited. He has like one like meeting next Monday and like one on Wednesday, but other than that, like he's off till like the 1st. He's super excited. So, and I'm excited for him to be at home too. And I just want to spend some time with him the next couple of days. And I love Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is like next to Halloween, one of my favorite days of the year. And so we're gonna go and stop by his aunt's house and see his abuela tomorrow too. And just for a little bit before we go to Caroline's. So I won't have like tons of time tomorrow, which is fine because I just want to like listen to Christmas music and watch Christmas movies and stuff, you know. And we're going to Caroline's early. We're gonna be there at 5. So, and then we're gonna order the Chinese. It'll be fun. We're gonna order the Chinese food. It's just like us. So, yeah, and then. So I have the cameos to do today. I have to go to the grocery store. I have to go to Old Navy. Somebody suggested it on here, but then Caroline suggested it too for this hoodie for David. So I'm gonna go to Old Navy. I haven't been to Old Navy in forever. I hope I get out of there without buying a bunch of stuff because I used to love Old Navy. I mean, it's literally been probably years, like 5 to 10 years since I've been to Old Navy. So we go to Old Navy, and then I also want to go to Half Price Books because I want to get this jazz album for him. And then I'm going to go to Best Buy and look at this computer for Alex. And then I have to wrap all of my presents. And then, like I said, I want to make a video on every channel. So I got lots to do, and I'm gonna have the candle waxes burning in the background. Oh, by the way, I know I announced yesterday on my channel, on this video, this is the only one I've announced it on so far, that my new candle with the Poorhouse Company, somebody actually said, can you put the link underneath here? I think the link already is underneath here. For the Poorhouse Company, my new candle called So Grateful. Oh my God, did I show that? Did I show that in my vlog yesterday? It smells so good. I think I did, yeah. It smells so good, you guys. And I'm so excited about it. I love working with her. I love her candles. Her Halloween scents, like Ghoul Squad, or no, Squad Ghouls, yeah, is like such like an apple scent that I still have it burning in the house. It's so fantastic. But anyway, you will not be disappointed with this soap. It's called So Grateful, because, you know, I always talk about like gratitude and all of that. So I suggested that we do something like that together. And it smells so fresh and so clean. I love it. And it's on her website as of today. So I'm really excited about that. And, but I mean, obviously you wouldn't be able to get it in time for Christmas or anything. Oh my God, I was just driving out here and I randomly took this way instead of going the other way that I usually go, or one of the other 2 ways that I usually go, or 3 ways. And I just remembered there's a house out here I wanted to show you guys the lights. So, it's how the movie stars live out here. You know what I just realized? I'm like going to the direction where my dad lives. And I haven't been out at my dad's house at night. Just like see their lights. They always put lights up. Isn't that so funny? I'm like thinking if like maybe they didn't put them up this year. No, they did. I'm like thinking. I'm looking at their house in the daytime. Like looking. Anyway, this gym over here says it's open 24 hours and there are always people in there. These are my old stomping grounds. This is where I grew up out here. This is where my dad lives. I grew up on the water. My dad, his house is on the water. And, like, when I was in high school, like, I didn't think much about it, honestly. And, like, when my friends and stuff, my friends loved it. And they would come over and we would go out on the boat and stuff. And, they'd always be like, this is so great that you live out here on the water. I honestly didn't, like, really think, like I just said, think a whole lot about it. And now I look back on it, and it really was so fun, you know? And, it was beautiful out there. I got scared a lot, though, because, like, my dad's house is on, like, a private drive, and it sits, like, way out, kind of, like, on the water, and it kind of, like, by itself. And so when I was out there, like, by myself, like, if they would go out of town or something like that, or just be out late at night, I would be, like, scared by myself out there. Especially when a car would come down, like, the private drive, because, so, there's, like, a cul-de-sac, and then their driveway is off of, like, a cul-de-sac. And it says private drive on it. And so, like, nobody drives on that unless it's like one of the 3 houses that's on the private drive. And so when cars would just kind of like come down, because you have like right after my dad's house, you have to turn around. Like you can't keep on going. It's at the end of the street. And it would always completely freak me out when cars would come down the street. Because you could see them, it would shine, like their lights would shine through the whole house. And yeah. Oh, that's pretty over there. When I was growing up, I don't know how old I was when I got my dog, my dad's house, but we had an Airedale. Well, we had an Airedale and a Yorkie. My stepmom got a Yorkie, and now they've had Yorkies ever since. But when I was growing up, we had an Airedale, and Airedales are real tall and big. I don't know if you know what an Airedale is, but... And, God, I loved that dog. And he was, like, big protector. And he would sleep by the front door, like, with his back up against the front door. And anytime, like, there was any sound around that house, he would start howling and stuff. He was, like, a really good watchdog. He was a really sweet dog. My dad trained him. Great trained him as a little puppy. And my dad can train any dog. They have these huge things out here. I should show you. It's like these like metal and glass sailboats, because this is out here on the lake. You can't see it, but it's like, so there's lake all around me and woods. It's called Geist Reservoir. It's where I grew up. And like I'm about to, so right here is the marina. I'll show you. This is the marina right here, where we used to come down and gas our boat. And then you can see on the right hand side is the marina over there. There's no boats in the water right there, right now. But then on the other side, there's houses on both sides, and this is like the through. Now, I don't know if you can see over here, these blue lights. Do you see this? This is where I'm going to show you. Now, I think somebody told me Andrew Luck, the football player, used to live in this house, but I could be wrong. I think it's either that one or the one next to him. But like some football player used to live out here. These houses, like right along here, are like massive that I'm about to show you. I think I showed this last year, actually. Do you guys see this? Hold on a second. I want to make sure that you can see it. Whenever I do this, it like always stops, but I just want you to get this full picture of this house. This is a house. There's the guardhouse. Look at this. Is that incredible? You can't even see the house. The house is like super, super modern. Look at that. All of that. Isn't that so pretty? Last year they did all of these houses around here, but this year, that's like one of the only ones that they did out here. Is it out of focus? I love looking at... Okay, it's out of focus, I think. There. So, I'm very excited for all of my stuff today. I know it sounds like I have a lot of stuff to do, but I'm kind of excited about it. I'm gonna have like the Christmas music playing the whole time, and all the candles burning, and I'm gonna have, I have found all of these YouTube channels that are like Christmas ambiance music, and they're like 10 hours, and I just play them in the background while I'm doing stuff. And I'm gonna make the bed real cozy. I would love to get some of the house cleaned today, like the bathroom cleaned and all of that today. I would love to get all of that done. But I'm gonna make the house real cozy today, and yeah, for Christmas. I'm excited about it. Today, what did I do? Today, I got up and I did a review. Well, I went and got my Dunkin' Donuts Sugar Plum Macchiato, which is so delicious. I might have to get another one tomorrow or today. And then, since the season is almost over, it's so weird, isn't it? That like the day after Christmas, like you just, then it's time for summer. You know what I mean? It is. So I'm so ready though. The day after Christmas, listen, I love Christmas all day long, but the day that Christmas is over, like at 4 o'clock on Christmas Day, like I'm ready for Christmas Eve. Like I'm ready for, not Christmas Eve, I'm ready for summer. I'm ready for like the pool to open and all of that. I actually am gonna spend some time between Christmas and New Year's really focusing on like my things I want to manifest in 2021 and coming up with like my vision list and stuff for my notebook or my like the magic thing that I did. I'm gonna really spend some time doing that. Alex does like a vision board every year for New Year's Eve, and he makes like a list of things. So I thought we could do some kind of little, he usually does this like ceremony. So he has a friend of his, she lives in San Francisco now. I think maybe she moved to Oakland, I can't remember, or I don't know, but anyway, she's a friend of both of ours, but I mean, we met her together, but like they're better friends that now that he's kept in touch with her more. And so she usually comes into town every year during the holidays, and they'll get together for brunch. And literally for like 10 years, they've done this thing where they make a list of their intentions for the following year. Like they do that at brunch every year. And Alex holds on to the list. Like, I mean to tell you, literally, I'm not even lying to you, on our dining room table, which like serves as our desk, like his little desk area, my little desk area, his list of intentions on the napkin has been there since last year. It's sitting there like in a triangle. I'm not even lying to you. I could go home right now and pick it up and show it to you. So they'll go through like their intentions from last year, and then they'll go and they'll write their intentions for the following year, which I think is kind of a cool thing, you know? So I really want to spend some time doing that in the next week. And I also I'd like to kind of organize my life a little bit. And by that, what I mean is like, I just kind of wake up every day and I'm like, okay, well, what videos am I going to make today? You know, whatever. And I love doing that, but I'd like to be a little bit more organized, especially like I was looking at my Peter Does Stuff channel and I started it and I've had all these ideas, but it's always kind of like the last video. I'm rolling through this church right now. It's always like the last video of the day that like I get to, if I have time, right? And I love that I started that channel, and I just wanted to do, I have so many ideas over there. I wanted to do like DIY videos over there, just like random stuff of like walking down the street and whatever. And I think I need to like start scheduling like at the beginning of the week, like this is what I'm gonna do, these are the videos I want to, I mean, do on such and such days. But like the thing that's so hard with that is that if it were up to me, and it's not even about planning out my day, because I quite frankly think that like I get a lot done. I just looked, you guys, I've read 17 books in the month of December, and I'm at 90 books. 17 books for the month of December. That is crazy, you guys. I know if Tanya was here, she'd be like, well, I read that much every month. But anyway. So, what was I going to say? Like, I get so much stuff done. Like, I really do. Like, I feel pretty accomplished most days. But I would be able to get every day done what I wanted to get done. I could do 6 videos a day easily if I would like I spend so much time just like sitting in front of my computer, like not like just looking at stuff. You know what I mean? But then you have to enjoy your time too, you know? So anyway, yesterday I got up and I went and got my Dunkin' Donuts Sugar Plum Macchiato. Partly because I was going to go to Starbucks to do this review, which is why I did that. So then I went to Starbucks and I did this review of the Candy Cane Cold Brew. And then I came home and I filmed a drama video, and then I filmed a Peterisms video. No, I didn't film a Peterisms video because it was getting late. And so I had to start getting ready. There was something else I had to do today. I don't remember what it was. But anyway, I know it doesn't look like it now, but I looked cute earlier. Took a shower, did my hair, wore this nice little hoodie that I have, this little cute hoodie that I have. And then I wore my new Ugg boots tonight. Oh, I did a load of wash too. I washed my jeans. And then I went and I met my sponsor at my meeting tonight. And then after the meeting, she and I went, it stopped. And then after the meeting, she and I went to dinner because it was Tanya's 30th wedding anniversary tonight. So she didn't go to the meeting. She and her husband went and had steak dinners tonight with like another couple that is like his cousin and his cousin's wife. We were hard pressed to find a place to go eat tonight. Partly because like the meeting didn't get out till 9. But we were going to go to Brew Burger because I love Brew Burger because they have this not the Impossible, they have this Beyond Burger there. And you can get the Beyond Burger with any other like cheeseburgers. So like whatever their cheeseburgers are, like, you know, like a mac and cheese cheeseburger, you can like get that, but with the Beyond Burger. And I get this garlic one there. Oh my God, it's so good. So I love Brew Burger. Well, we go there sometimes like after our meeting. And so we went there, and here's this house again. I just have to show you because I think it's so pretty. It really does look like a fairy princess, like castle, like just sitting out here in the middle of nowhere, which is crazy to me. But anyway, so we went to Brew Burger, and they were closing, like right when we got there, like, well, our meeting got out a little bit early, and because we were like, you know, we split up in these small groups. Our small group actually was the last one to get out though, and we still got out early. So, oh, I should have brought my token with me. I could have shown you guys. She got me a really nice token. She said such wonderful things about me. I love my sponsor so much. So we ended up going to this Wolfie's restaurant. There's like 3 of them. I think there's actually like 5 of them. We always go to the same one that's on like 96 and Hague Road. And so we went to Wolfie's, and I had a wedge salad with no bacon. She had a wedge salad with all of my bacon, is what she said. And then she had French onion soup, and I had a grilled cheese sandwich with fries, and I had a side of jalapeno creamed corn. I don't know why I was like craving creamed corn. When I was a little kid, I loved creamed corn. And we just laughed and talked, and we had such a good time. It was so fun. And she's dating somebody, and she was filling me in on all of that, and we were just talking about all kinds of stuff, and I was asking her about some stuff that I wanted to work on, and we just had such a fun time. It was so nice. And then I came home, and Alex was laying in bed with the dogs, and I just came right upstairs, and no, I did a cameo, and then I came upstairs. What else did I do? I did something else on the computer. And then I came upstairs, and my Uggs are so comfortable, you guys. Oh my God, those Uggs. If you've ever thought about buying a pair of Uggs, but you thought, oh, they're basic or everybody has, listen, let me just tell you, they're literally like walking on cushions. They're so, so, so comfortable. And I love them. So I gotta break them in a little bit though. I know I'm so old school to the game, but it is what it is. I also think I'm gonna buy a pair of Crocs. When I was at Nordstrom trying on my, I'm really glad that I took back the other ones because I just don't think that I would have worn them that much. And these are so much more comfortable. Although I don't have them on right now. Why? Because it's 36 degrees and I have on Birkenstock sandals. I do not like wearing shoes. So when I was at Nordstrom the other day, I tried on a pair of Crocs that have like the, what do you call it? The fuzz in the middle of it, you know? But they only had brown and black, like in my size, and I wanted like navy blue. So I think I'm gonna order them. They're like 40 or 50 bucks, so which I think is kind of expensive. But anyway, all about the comfort. I've wanted a pair of Crocs for a couple years. Do you know what's so funny is, not that I am such the trendsetter, and I know people have been wearing Crocs forever, but like, whenever there's something like out there that I'll be like, oh, like, I really want this or whatever. Like, I've really wanted a pair of Crocs for like 3 years. Like, if you've watched my vlog, you've even heard me talk about it, right? Like, how I wanted a pair of Crocs and all this kind of stuff. Now, like, all these beauty influencers, like Bretman Rock has an ad campaign for Crocs. Manny MUA, constantly, he and Laura Lee are constantly talking about Crocs, right? It's like, all these people are talking about Crocs, and Crocs are, like, real popular again and stuff like that. Maybe it's just kind of like the Midwest. Like, back when I was growing up, it was like everything that happened on the East and the West Coast kind of like came in eventually, and then we got it like in the Midwest. Maybe it's like the Midwest is now affecting the East and the West Coast, because I'm telling you, like, here, like, you see Crocs everywhere. Crocs are kind of like the new, like in Indiana, like the new, like, you see a lot of like guys that are like John Deere hats and like real good looking, you know, kind of like that outdoorsy type that like works construction or like on a farm, like, seriously. And then like on their time off, they'll have like camo or just like navy Crocs on with like jeans. It's like a real kind of sexy look. I don't know why. I mean, I never thought I would ever say that, but it is kind of. So anyway, I was sitting there when I was getting my token tonight after that. I don't know why I was thinking this, but I was like, because I never really think forward, you know? Well, I mean, like, recently I was saying that I was going to have like 26 years and stuff like that, but I mean, I don't think forward like in terms of years. Like, oh my God, I almost like have 30 years. And I was sitting there and I was thinking like, dude, you've been sober for almost 30 years. Like, and obviously we don't borrow time in sobriety. And all those people are outside that donut place. How cute. The little donut house. We don't borrow time in sobriety, right? So, like, we don't really say that. Like, I have almost 30 years. Because I don't have almost 30 years. I have 26 years, right? Which is a lot for me. But, like, it's crazy to me to think, like, Tanya's been married 30 years. Or I graduated from high school 30 years ago and I came out 30. I mean, to say that I came out 30 years ago, like, I feel like I've been out my entire life, you know? And so that's kind of crazy to me. To then think, like, I've been, like, sober. The thing that's crazy to me is that, like, when I say that, like, oh, I've been sober for such and such amount of time, 26 years, like, I can remember you guys, like, drinking and using. Like, it's not, like, this memory from, like, that I just can't remember. Like, I literally can remember it like it's yesterday. Like, I literally can remember. I can smell it. I can taste it some days. It's, like, the weirdest thing. And, it's just crazy, you know, to think that. And I think also to think that, like, alcohol and drugs have played such a major part of my life, you know, from my using to my sobriety to my mom, to my mom's alcoholism, to, you know, family members of mine, to, you know, like with my aunt drinking too, and then, like with, like my job, you know, working in a treatment center. I mean, so much of my life has been about drinking and using and sobriety. And I mean, like, honestly, I mean, I started using when I started drinking when I was 12. And no, it wasn't every day when I was drinking at first. But you think about that, and what is that, 36 years of my life has been about that? And really, before that, because long before I was 12, I mean, I can remember being a little kid and being worried about my mom because I would call her from my dad. I can see myself sitting at my dad's, like, the bar in his kitchen, and in his apartment and calling my mom and she being drunk on the phone and me being worried about her. I can see, it was like a burgundy phone. I can see the phone. Isn't that crazy? So that would have been like when I was like 7 or 8. So literally for 40 years of my life has been about, I mean, it's just crazy to me, you know? Do you want me to talk about families of addiction too? It's crazy because, like, and I really never said anything about my aunt's drinking on here for the longest time because I didn't really feel like it was my story to tell until Caroline said something in the video. But you know what's crazy about that is that my mom tried to quit drinking many, many times and couldn't on her own until she got into a 12-step program. But my aunt, when my aunt got sick, and my aunt had lung disease, and when she got sick, she literally just quit drinking, like cold turkey. Like, I think at the end, like, she might every once in a while have like a scotch and soda, but like, or scotch and water, but very rarely, or like a glass of wine. But she didn't drink at all like the last couple years. Like, I can remember we had seen her, like the year before she passed away, and I was like, Aunt Kathy, you look like you've lost so much weight. She's like, I quit drinking. And I was like, you did? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, how did you do it? She's like, I just, you know, she's like, I didn't quit entirely. She was like, but like, she's like, I might have like a drink in the evening. And you know, you look at that, two sisters that were so close, same family, same genetics, and one could just give it up like that, and the other one couldn't, you know? I woke up today thinking that, I was like, okay, I was like, putting on my clothes and stuff, and for some reason, I started thinking about this memory that I had from when I was a little kid for Christmas, and I was like, I'm gonna do a whole vlog today, all talking about Christmas memories, and then look at me, I don't talk at all about Christmas memories. You guys, these batteries that I have, like, I need to, like, get all new batteries and throw them out or something like that, because they're just, like, I'm not even at 45 minutes yet, and this battery is already halfway through, and it's like, it used to last me, like, an hour and, like, 15 or 20 minutes, and now it's like, I'm lucky if I get an hour out of it. I mean, I have another battery with me, but isn't that the weirdest thing, that it does that? But I woke up, and I don't know why I was thinking of this memory. So, when I was like, I think this would have probably been the year that my dad, I start to tell this story, and then like immediately my mind goes to this like horrible memory. Isn't that so sad? But anyway, that's my childhood. The beautiful and the damned. So, one year for Christmas, I was really, really sick. I don't know what was wrong with me, but I had like the flu or something, and it was like the 23rd of December, and my dad had, I'm trying to think about how to say this on here, because there might be little ears listening. My dad had won this, like he had gone to some, what do you call that? Where people bid on stuff. Why can't I think of the word that I'm looking for? Shoot. I think of what the word is. I feel like I'm losing my mind. If you are like getting older, like you're like me, like are you guys like auction? Do you guys do that? Like where you just can't remember the name of things? Anyway, what was that store called right there? I wanted to see what that store was called. Pro Hardware. I don't know that I've driven by that store before and I didn't know if that was there. Anyway, so my dad had bid on this auction and it was like a one-on-one visit with Santa Claus at your house. So I'm like super sick. I'm like in pajamas and like, I know it was the Christmas that my parents had separated because my dad came over and like he and my mom were talking and I can remember I was like, the couch that we have in our bedroom on Alex's side now was in our like living room, which was like our like formal kind of living room that like was where we put our Christmas tree and stuff. We sat in there, but like, and it had a big fireplace and the secretary desk, but we didn't spend that much time in there. We would like, that's where our Christmas tree was and we would open presents and stuff in there. But, so anyway, I can see myself like on that couch. I'm just like this little kid in these like, you know, Christmas pajamas or whatever. And this Jeep Wrangler pulls up out front. And it's got Santa Claus in it. And I went crazy. I was so excited. And there was some present that I wanted that year, and and Santa Claus brought it to me. And, oh my God, I was so mesmerized. And my dad said that he said, like, that was like the best year ever, like, as far as like Santa Claus. And he said that, like, after he left, like, I was, like, 20 questioning my dad. I'm like, Dad, why does he drive a Jeep Wrangler or Jeep? And my dad was like, well, you know, the reindeer, like, they need to, like, rest up for Christmas Eve. So, like, you know, when Santa Claus, like, comes to town, he, like, takes a Jeep and, you know, because that's what they drive on the North Pole and stuff. And then my dad, apparently I asked, like, all of these really scientific questions. And, like, I would say, like, well, what about people that don't have fireplaces in their house? Like, how does Santa Claus get in their house? And so my dad said, well, that, you know, Santa Claus really, like, works like, you know, today, since not everybody has fireplaces, Santa Claus works like kind of like how, like, a microwave works. And so he was like, you know, like when you watch like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and the one kid like goes, you know, like from being really big to being really small. He's like, Santa Claus kind of works like that. And then he just comes into your house, like, you know, through like a microwave wave would come into your house. And he said it's very technological. And so I asked, like, how does he get around? Which, this is so funny watching Christmas Chronicles. How does he get around the world? And my dad was like, well, he has a special clock that, like, slows time down and all this kind of stuff. Oh, look, that house looks like a little gingerbread. So apparently, like, I asked my dad, like, tons and tons of questions that year. And it was really important for my parents. Like, you know, it's kind of sad when I look back. Like, it was hard for me, for my mom to know that, like, I started drinking early, like at 12, because one of the things that was really important for my parents was that I held on to, like, my childhood for, like, a really long time. And, like, with all of that stuff, you know, I think they wanted me to, like, you know, like, I don't know that I ever told my mom. Like, I don't think I ever would. I don't know why this is getting me real emotional. But, like, how I found out that, you know, was the night that Christmas Eve my mom put the car in the ditch. And I saw her putting, you know, like, the presents downstairs and stuff. That was very much a growing up Christmas for me that year. You know, my mom and my grandma are screaming at each other in the kitchen. I remember we came home. You know, Christmas Eve was very, very dressed up for us. And so we're like real dressed up. It's now about midnight. So my mom had been drinking, and it was my grandma and my mom and I, and my mom swerved off the road. If you live in Indianapolis, it was like Keystone and Carmel Drive, and it's like major roads with roundabouts and interstate, highway, and almost not interstate, but highway and stuff. Back then it wasn't. It was two ways going each way. 2 roads going each way. Like this. And my mom, it was real icy, and she slid off the road and put the car in the ditch. So my mom had to hitchhike, basically, and this little family came and picked us up. It was like a mom and a dad and like their son in this little car. And I remember we all like had to get in there. And I remember coming back to the house, and I don't even really remember my mom telling me to like go put on my pajamas or anything. Maybe if she did, I don't remember that. I barely remember it anyway. And honestly, I think it's probably a memory that I would have forgotten over time had my mom not kept on bringing it up. Because my mom would bring it up. It was like one of her, like the things that she felt the guiltiest about in her life. She would always say, oh, that Christmas I put you and Grandma in the, or she called her mother. She would say that Christmas I put you and Mother in the ditch. Like she would say, like, and she beat herself up about it literally her entire life. It's just so crazy. It's so stupid, you know, but. So my grandma is in the kitchen, and she's like, at my mom, and she's like, did you do this? Did you put Peter to bed? Did you call, who are you going to call to get the car out of the ditch? Are you going to call somebody to get the car out of the ditch? And my mom was like, Mother. And my mom like came in, like I could see my mom standing at the kitchen island, and she's like all done up, and her hair's like in a bun. My mom used to wear hair in like this very severe bun. She had gorgeous hair for a bun. And she was like totally dressed up in like this very nice, like, you know, like silk blouse and slacks, and she's standing there at the kitchen island with this huge, massive kitchen island, and I can see her with her hands on either side of the island, and she had made herself a drink, and she was sitting there smoking a cigarette, and she just was like, Mother. You know, at the time I look at that, my mom probably was 35 or 36, you know, and I don't know, like, what happened. I know the car was at the house the next day, and I know that the drinking got worse that night because, where am I at on time? I know the drinking got worse that night because so my room was at the very end of the hallway. So I could lay in bed because I had these little bunk beds with like stuffed animals everywhere and stuff. And I could look down the hallway and I could see all the way down the hallway. So my bedroom was here, my mom's was here, and hers was across from like the TV room, which was like where we had this L-shaped couch and stuff, which I still have in the basement. Can you believe that? It pulls out into a bed. My mom said, don't ever throw it away because it's like we've never had anybody sleep on that bed, I don't think, ever in my life. I mean, when we had it at that house, we did, but never since then. But anyway, now IKEA makes those pull-out, like, beds and stuff like that. I always think that would be great for us to have in our living room since, you know, like when people come over to stay, they would have a place to stay. A little, what is that, a Murphy bed or whatever. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So I could lay in my bed and I could, like, look down the hallway. And that was the year that I saw my mom, like, at the closet at the end of the hallway, walk up and down the stairs and in and out of her bedroom, taking presents down. And she just, like, was, like, weaving down the hallway. And And I remember I got real upset. I was laying in bed, and I got really upset because we didn't put out milk and cookies for Santa Claus, and I didn't think that Santa Claus would come. You know, you think about that, like, I look back on that now, and, like, as bad as I would, like, not want my mom to, like, have felt about that, and we had so many conversations about it, and I can remember, like, when my mom made amends to me, and I was like, Mom, you need to let that go. Like, it just is what it is, you know? And I forgive you for that. Like, to a kid that's, like, 6 or 7, let's say I was 7, I don't know how old I was, like, that's a big deal. Like, that was a big deal to me. Like, I can remember being very upset about that whole, like, that whole thing. Actually, maybe I would have been, like, older. I probably would have been, like, because my parents got separated when I was, like, 7 or 8. And that was not the first Christmas. God, the first Christmas was bad. So that would have been, like, when I was, like, 9 or 10, maybe, I guess. 10, probably 9 or 10. Oh, my battery is gonna die. Hold on, let me pull in here. Thank God. But I happen to just be at this gas station strip mall. Do you know Krispy Kreme has gingerbread donuts? And can I just tell you that I want them? I saw them on the totallythebomb.com website. Look at these people in here working out at Anytime Fitness. Don't you just think you're hot commodities? They probably are. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I was actually, like, looking through my Instagram, so I totally forget what I was talking about. Well, I know I was talking about that night with my mom on Christmas Eve, but... So I was saying that that had to be when I was older, because first of all, that was how I found out. I'm trying to kind of, like, edit this in case there's little ears around, you know. So that's how I found out, you know what I'm saying. And, do you guys get what I mean by that? Okay, I hope so. And then, the other reason that I know that is because the first Christmas that my parents were separated, which this is so crazy to me because my parents separated in January. So my dad, okay, so my parents separated when I was 7. I just figured it out. And the reason I know this is because it was, my dad turned 40 in August, and he's on the year, so that would have been in 1980. I was born in 72, so I would have been just 7 when my dad turned, because my birthday's in June, so I would have been 7 when my dad turned 40 that year, right? Seven or 8. My dad always says I was like 11, and I know that that's not true. But anyway, because my dad told my mom in August on his 40th birthday that he was going to leave in January. And my mom actually, he was like, neither one of us are happy, and if things don't turn around, then I'm leaving in January. And my mom, like, literally went from, like, a size 10. She used to tell this story all the time. She'd talk about traumatic weight loss. She went from a size 10 to a size 2, like, literally in 30 days. And then my dad left in January. And I can remember him leaving. And I don't really remember my parents arguing a lot, but that was, like, one fight that I do remember. And I remember at some point my dad called my mom's friend across the street, and her daughter, who is one of my good friends that was, like, 3 years older than me, she came across the street and got me because my mom was, like, screaming at my dad. And I don't really remember. I remember my dad when he left. My dad left with, He had this old parka that he used to wear. It was like an army parka. And he literally left with that and an alarm clock. And I remember my mom was like screaming at him. And she and I, the neighbor across the street, it was like really wintry outside. She and I walked around the street, and it was snowing, and I remember we sang Christmas carols, and she held my hand. I don't know how I remember that. And it was after Christmas when that happened. So that following Christmas, I guess I would have been 8 at that point. That following Christmas, for me, they thought it would be a good idea for my dad to be involved in Christmas. I don't remember him coming to Christmas Eve dinner with us. I don't remember Christmas Eve at all from that year. But I do remember Christmas Day. I remember, like, being around my mom's friends. Like, my mom and my aunt have a very good friend of theirs that they, like, actually lived in an apartment. So when my mom and my aunt were teachers together and my mom was dating my dad, they had a friend of theirs that lived, like, upstairs from them that they met in this apartment building, and it's been, like, one of their lifelong friends. Like, I saw her at my aunt's funeral. It's the last time I saw her, but she and her old husband and she and her new husband have been friends of my parents literally my entire life. Like, diehard fair. Like, one of my parents' very, very good friends. Both my mom and my dad, and my aunt and my uncle. And she's extremely wealthy. And she wasn't, like, when they met her. But then she got remarried, and her husband owns this, well, he sold his part of it, of this construction company that does, like, subway systems and stuff. Like, they're massive wealth. And they first lived in Hinsdale, and then they lived in another part of Chicago. And so we used to go visit them when I was a little kid, and I can remember her being like, we're gonna get your mom and dad back together. And I can remember my mom and I went up there, we visited her we took the train up there, and their house was gorgeous, God. And they live in the city now, but I remember she just was like, we're gonna get your mom and dad back together. And I didn't really understand it, like, I was so young. And we used to have so much fun with them. They had a place in Park City, Utah. We used to go out there and go. They were, like, literally, their house was on the side of the mountain in Park City. And we used to, like, go out there and ski. I would go there with my dad and my stepmom. And you would, like, walk out of their house. Their house was across the street from Harrison Ford's house. Just to put this in perspective for you. How nice their stuff was. And we would literally, like, walk out of their house and you would be on the slope to go ski. I love her so much. She was like one of the real reasons why I, like, was really interested in fashion growing up, because she had, like, I can remember she would come to stay, and I would, like, say to her, like, I don't think I've ever talked about her on a vlog either. I would say, like when I was a little kid, you know, and she would show me these, like, amazing suits and dresses that she had. And so she had such incredible, well, my mom used to say she's the best taste of anybody. My mom would be like, oh, because of course, like, they called her my aunt, you know, even though she wasn't an aunt. My mom would say, your aunt has the best taste of any person I've ever met in my entire life. And she would say, and you know what, Peter? She was like, and she is a good example of, it does not take money to have good class or a good taste in clothes. Because when she was so poor, when she was younger, she made all of her own clothes. And she said her clothes looked just as fantastic when she made them as she did when she was buying them later in her life. She's, like, one of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life. She's just such a genuinely nice soul. She came for my aunt's funeral, and so Alex had never met her, and so Alex, we sat and talked to her and her daughters forever, and she just was like, she was like, Peter, I can't believe it. She was like, you know, your mom and your aunt are gone, and she was like, I feel like everybody that I know is gone. I think that would be so hard. But anyway, she was a big part of my childhood growing up. And, but that Christmas, I remember, God, I was going to tell all these great memories, these really positive memories, and look what this vlog turned into. It's all your fault. It's all your fault. But my dad came for Christmas Day. I don't remember what happened. I just know that there was a lot of drinking with my mom, and my mom got really, really drunk and started saying really hateful things to my dad. She must have thrown something, because I can remember there being a point where my dad just stood up and walked out. And it was like a Christmas dinner, like we were having like a Christmas dinner and stuff. And I can remember, like, she must have said something like, why are you here? Like, you left, and, you know. And so anyway, then, like, when he left, like, my aunt and uncle and Caroline and everybody, you know, I've never talked to Caroline about this. I should ask her if she remembers this. Like, they left right after that. And it was my mom and I. And I can remember my mom, like, just being really, really upset. And this was like my dad's first year in that apartment, because I can see the apartment. It smelled just like my dad, and he had this like beautiful rug, and so this is kind of funny, because my dad is very like, my dad's not like bah humbug about Christmas, but he's not like a lover of Christmas either. He just thinks, he calls them Hallmark holidays. He just is like, whatever. So at that time, I had spent Christmas with my dad like the days before, or like the 22nd and the 23rd. So by Christmas Day, like, my Christmas with my dad was done, right? So my dad had taken down his Christmas tree already, and he had like thrown it off the balcony. He had like a live Christmas tree. He lived in this, like, his apartment was like in the woods, and so he had literally like taken like the Christmas tree and just like chucked it into the woods off of his 3rd story balcony. I remember looking out there and seeing the tree in the woods. I mean, it wasn't like a fake tree. It wasn't like trash. I mean, it was like obviously like compost, you know? I mean, it was like, it, you know, anyway. So somehow my dad called his nurse, who recently passed away. And she was a huge part of my childhood too. Like, she picked me up, and for like, you know, like when I would fly to Chicago to meet my dad every Christmas and stuff, and she was very involved in my life. So anyway, she came. I don't remember. I had a little bag packed. My mom must have packed me a little bag or something, and I can see it. It's at night, and her car's parked out front, and I like walked out and got in her car, and I just was sobbing. Like, I knew something was like not right with the picture. And I can remember she took me to my dad's house, my dad's apartment, and my dad had gone and bought like a bunch of like treats and snacks and stuff. I think he was really worried about me that year. And I just remember I stayed with my dad for like the next couple days. You know what's so weird is that I was really worried that my mom would, this is so weird that you think this way as like a little kid. I don't know why I remember this, but I remember that I was worried that my mom would break all my toys. Which of course she didn't, but the thing that's the craziest about my mom's drinking is, you know, when my mom drank, like on that level, she was a hardcore alcoholic. And she had a mouth, I inherited this from my mother when I drank. I mean, she had a mouth on her that like her tongue could just rip somebody apart. And like with just one sentence. And I was very much like that too when I drank. I mean, I think that's something I've had to look at in my life, just myself, the last, 2 to 5 years. And, being a truth teller to some degree, and that there are things that don't need to be said. Not even when I was drinking, And the thing is that, But when my mom wasn't drinking, she was like during those times that, you know, like not when she got sober, but before that, you know, she either fluctuated from being like so happy and so Little House on the Prairie and homey and cozy to moments of being like very depressed. So I never really knew, you know, what I was gonna walk into. But like my mom had the capability of like, I mean, like Caroline and I were talking about this when I did that video with her. It's like, we had magical childhoods though. Like, I mean, I always talk about my mom's drinking and stuff, and yes, it was horrific. And I'm not taking that, I'm not throwing it out there and pulling it back. Like, it was not good. And I was scared often. But it was more because I didn't know when it was gonna happen. So it just, like, it would, like, be, like, 2 weeks and everything would be fine. And then all of a sudden, my mother would be, like, in a blackout, you know, or something. Like, I didn't know that that's what was going on, but, you know. Or, you know, like, I would come home from, like, a friend's house and she'd be passed out in bed and I couldn't get in the door or something like that. But then it would be, like, other than that, it would be, like, a week of her being very... I think this is where, like, the vlog, I, like, work out stuff in my head sometimes. You know, then it would be, like, a week or two of her, and I think this was her also trying to control her drinking. It would be, like, a week or two of her being, like, literally, like, Caroline from Little House on the Prairie. You know what I mean? Just the perfect mother. And she prided herself. Like, that's the thing, is my mom really, really prided herself on being... a mother, and not just that, but like being a good mother, you know, being involved. And she was a great mother, except for when she wasn't, because she was drinking, you know. And I think about that, and that's where, like, for me, when we talk about active addiction, you know, like when the alcohol was inside of her, like she just couldn't keep up. And and between you and I, like, that is not a good enough excuse for me. I'm sorry. You know, like, I struggled with that for a long time, because I was like, if for anything that my mom could get sober, I would hope that her love for me would be enough. Like, that's where I say, like, if love were enough, there wouldn't need to be treatment programs or halfway houses and on and on and on, or counseling, because people would just quit drinking, right? But I did struggle with that, especially when I was younger, you know. I didn't understand it, like, and then later talking to my mom, you know, and just was like this constant inside struggle, you know. You know, people ask a lot on vlogs, they'll say, like, if your dad knew that your mom was drinking like this, like, what? And I always kind of avoid this question, but whatever, she's gone, and, you know, he's 80, and it is what it is. But, you know, people will say, like, if your dad knew that your mom's drinking was like this, then why did he allow you to stay with her? You know, my dad would say to me, like, all the time, Peter, anytime that you want to come and live with me, you are more than welcome. You know, you have a bedroom here. You know that my home is your home, whatever. And made that very clear when he and my stepmom got together, too. Like, they sat me down and were like, you are always welcome in our home. You always have a place in our home. But my dad would say to me, but I really think that your place is with your mother. Like, I think that your mother would not know what to do if you didn't live there. Which he was absolutely 100% correct. Like, my mom, like, I think that had he fought her for custody, and so this is why my dad, like, kept a very, very close eye on what was going on. Like, my dad called me every morning to make sure that I was up in time for school. My dad called me, I've told this on here before, my dad called me every morning, like at 6 o'clock, every morning. The phone was in my mom's bedroom. So the phone would ring and I would go in there and I would answer the phone every morning until I graduated from high school. My dad called me. Think about that. every morning. Even when he was on vacation, he would call me every morning from 8 years old until for 10 years. Every morning he called me. Make sure I was up for school. Check in with me in the evening every night before I went to bed. And, I saw him every Wednesday or several times during the week and then on weekends. I mean, he was extremely involved in my life. My dad went to all of my, parent-teacher meetings, blah, blah, blah. This is why I don't have a lot of patience for parents that are not involved in their kids' lives. Because my dad was extremely busy. He was chief of staff of a hospital, not just one, but 3 hospital organizations at that point. 3 hospitals within an organization, a surgery center, a building of a surgery center. My dad was on medical boards. I mean, he was he would have to reschedule a board meeting for all of these very important people because I had an orchestra concert, and he never missed an orchestra concert. My dad was there for every little choir concert in 3rd grade. I mean, he was there for everything. And I think that was the commitment that he made to himself, when he left, that he was going to be that involved in my life. And he was. My dad has always been such a fantastic father. And, my dad is the epitome of suiting up and showing up. And what's so funny about this is that, I don't know why I'm telling this story, but I'm going to tell it. So, my mom always kind of indirectly painted this picture of my dad, that he had this, midlife crisis and he wanted out and all this kind of stuff, right? Which was so weird because, got the sports car and, lost a bunch of weight and started running and had younger girlfriends. And that was all true of my dad, it was, right? But, the thing that's interesting about that is that I always kind of thought, it was my mom that wanted, kids, and that this is, even, hard for me to talk about to this day. That my dad didn't really want kids, didn't really want me, maybe, and all this kind of stuff because he wanted to, live this free life and whatever. So I found these journals of my mom's. This was probably 8 or 9 years ago. And in the journals, it talks about my mom getting pregnant and staying in Chicago. And she did not want kids. She didn't want to get married. She had no desire to get married, but she was afraid she'd lose my dad if she didn't. So she wanted to live in a houseboat in San Francisco Harbor and be a trial attorney, or live in New York City and go to Elaine's on a Thursday night and listen to jazz. My mom did not want to be settled down and married, ever. And I think she kind of assumed that role after she got married. The journals said that it was my dad that wanted me, that my dad was the one that wanted a child, and he wanted me, and he was so excited, and she was so excited for me, and I think, my dad said this at my mom's funeral, in the eulogy, the thing that she was the proudest of in her entire life was me, and I do believe that to be true. I think that she didn't realize how bad she wanted a child until after she had a child. But it was my dad that wanted me, and I look back on that and it's I think that's why my dad and I have such a phenomenal relationship today, is I think he really fought for me. But the reason that my dad didn't take me away from that situation was because I think that he was really worried that my mom would not have been able to. And it was a different world back then, too. It really was, you guys. I've told this story in here before. My mom went crazy when my babysitter took me to that movie, Kramer versus Kramer. Parents were not fighting for custody and stuff like that, you guys. That was almost unheard of in the early 80s. And my parents were one of the very first couples that ever got divorced. Because I can remember, kids at school, it was weird. They thought it was weird that my parents were divorced. And, parents just didn't fight for custody and stuff. And I think my dad was afraid, the way he's told me this, that if he had taken me away from my mom, that my mom would have taken her life. He was I think your mom would have ended her life. because I don't think she would have known who she was without you. My mom used to talk about, like, with like ODing and things like that. She's like, if you died as a result of your addiction, I would have taken my life. She was like, there would have been no reason for me to live. And I think he knew that, and I think he was already felt guilty about leaving, and so then he felt guilty, like, if I would come and live with him, you know? Which I think was hard enough anyway, because, like, he and my stepmom were offering me a, like, very stable, you know, home, and it was obviously more fun there. I mean, hell, I had a TV and cable and stuff in my own room, a swimming pool, you know, and I think he knew that, you know, and, like, my mom, I would come home on Sunday nights, and she'd say, I'm so tired of being the mean parent that makes you do your homework when you go to your dad's house and have fun on the weekends, which wasn't really what it was like, but, like, I did take a lot of trips with my dad, and we would go skiing on the weekends, and, you know, do family dinners and stuff like that, and it was fun, you know? But then I think that guilt was passed on to me, because then I think that what happened was I very much became like the man of the house. And then I was like scared that if I ever wanted to leave, like, I couldn't leave. Like, my dad would say, like, you're more than welcome to come and live here with us, but, you know, like, I really think that your mom would, like, be so upset about it and so sad. And so, like, and I don't think he was saying it to make me feel any certain kind of way. I mean, my dad just was real honest with me always, you know? And, I think, like, what happened was then I felt guilty, like, well, I can't leave. Well, if I leave, then, like, what will my mom do, you know? I don't know. Honestly, I'm glad I didn't. And like I say, like, I paint a picture of, you know, my mom being this, like, I think I paint this picture, like, if somebody were to say something about, like, my mom, like, that it would be like she was, like, this horrific alcoholic, like, 24 hours a day, but that really was not the case. I mean, it really wasn't. I mean, the drinking was a lot. See, I put it out there, and then I take it back, and then I put it out there again, because it's, like, in my head, it's so mixed up. Like, it wasn't, but then there were, like, I mean, all of the times that we, like, played tennis together, or just took walks outside, or watched TV shows together, or movies together when I was growing up, you know? Or her driving me everywhere. I mean, none of that was because, like, none of that was affected by drinking. You know, the reason why putting the car in the ditch bothered my mother so much was because my mother was somebody, she never would have gotten in a car with me, like, if she had been of right mind. And so I think that was, like, the first occasion to her that it, like, really, like she could rationalize having a couple glasses of wine and putting me in a car and driving me home from my aunt's house. I don't think until that moment did she really, because it didn't happen after that, she ever really realize, it is so weird, I just got a whiff of wine. That is so weird. It was like, and it's not just wine, but, like, wine on somebody's breath. That is so weird that I just got that smell. I can smell it in this car. It's so weird, you guys. Oh, I can smell it right now. That is the weirdest thing. It's like she's sitting in this car with me. She never did that again. Like that was one thing that was, God, you guys, I don't know what that smell is. It must be something outside. That is the weirdest thing. If there's orbs all around, we'll know what that is. But, she didn't, you know, like, she learned from that, like, I don't know. I also feel like, for me, it's hard, like, you know, I sit in meetings and I hear people share stories about, like, their parents having passed away drinking and whatever. Like, you know, I got the 12 plus years of sobriety. Like, I got, like, all of those amazing Christmases after, you know, like, where my mom and I, that's so weirding me out, you guys, that smell. I mean, it's literally like she's sitting right here, and because I can remember when I would kiss her and she would have, like, perfume on. It's kind kind of fading now, but like perfume on with like wine. My aunt used to smell like this too. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like that real sweet wine smell. God, that was so weird. But I can still kind of smell. I don't wonder what that smell is. But anyway, you know, I got those 12 years after with her that I think, like, had I not had those, I honestly think I would be super bitter today and super angry. Like, I think I would, I don't know, I just think that I would be so angry and so mad about, like, everything. I don't feel like there would be any kind of, like, conclusion to my childhood, if that makes sense, you know? I don't feel like I would have any kind of, like, I don't know that I would have any kind of, like, I don't even know what this word means, but, like, restorative faith and sobriety, you know what I mean? Like, but see, I got that. You know, I got to sit across from my mother, not the next day because she felt bad for what had happened, but years later when she would look at me and could take ownership for her actions and to say to me, and not only, I'm sorry that this happened, but I've shown you for years after that this is not who I am today. See, I received that as a gift. That's a powerful, powerful, powerful gift, right? Like, I sit in rooms all the time with people. It stopped. But I sit in rooms with people all the time, you know, who, like their parents never got sober. They never got to see their parents sober, and their parents never got to see them sober, is what I was saying. You know, and that's, like, that is a powerful gift. Especially the fact that my mom and I got to give that to each other. So, like, in a weird kind of way, I feel like everything that I went through as a child, I feel like everything I put her through with my drinking and using was like the setup to the play that would be the recovery. Because those 12 years and 11 months of my mom's life, I'm trying to think of, is she going to be 14 years sober or 13 years sober? I never can remember. Well, she was a month shy of that because her sponsor asked me if I wanted her coin, and I said no because we don't borrow time. My mom was such a stickler for we don't borrow time in the program because she wanted to see if I wanted to bury her with her coin. So my mom died on the 14th of May, and her sobriety birthday was June 2nd. So she would have been, whatever, I can't remember, 08. She got sober in 95, so she would have been, it would have been 13 years. But you know, the one really powerful thing for me is, and I don't think we talk enough about this. I talk, you know, all the time about addiction and sobriety and friends of mine that have passed away and people that I know that have died and on and on and on, right? We talk all about that, and I've talked about it till, you know, ad nauseum. But people die sober too. And my mother died sober. And she died as a sober member of a 12-step program, surrounded by friends of hers that were in sobriety as well. Other women that loved her that were sober. And my mother had the opportunity to live a sober life, and that is powerful. And any of you out there can have that. My mom didn't get sober till she was 51 years old, you guys. So when I receive all these messages from people that are like, thank you for sharing this story or whatever, and I appreciate that, it means so much to me. I don't do that for me, I do that for you, you know, to give you hope. Like, that's pretty powerful to me that my mom got sober at 51. I can just tell you that I never in a million years thought my mom was, I had long ago given up hope that my mom would ever get sober. You know, I really did. I never thought she'd get sober. I thought she'd be a drunk mess till the day that she died. I don't even think I really even consciously thought that much about it. I just thought, this is my mom and this is what I'm going to deal with for the rest of my eternity, you know? I had no intention of vlogging this long today. I had no intention of vlogging as long as I did yesterday, and I ended up vlogging for like an hour and 44 minutes. Is that not crazy? And today I vlogged for like an hour and a half. You guys, what are you doing to me? Seriously? Anyway, I'm chatty today because I'm chatty patty. I'm excited for Christmas. Oh my God, it's Christmas. Oh, I started a new book. I started The Mistletoe Promise by Richard Paul Evans. It's actually really good. It's about this couple, and well, they're not really a couple. This guy proposes to this woman that they be like a fake couple just to like get along through the holiday. Now, you know they're going to end up falling in love at the end of it, but I don't care that I already know that. So anyway, and then if I finish that, well, it's only 5 hours, and I'm already half an hour into it. So I'm sure I'll finish it today while I'm driving around. But I've been listening to a lot of like Christmas music and stuff too. Oh, Abbott and Costello is on Radio Classics right now. I love that Radio Classics so much. But if I finish it today, then I'm gonna read the next book in the Alison Brooks Christmas series, which is The Haunted Library. So I'm gonna try to start that. Because I'd kind of like to read a Christmas mystery for Christmas. I don't know why. And it's like my only one left that I have. It's called Red and Gone, I think. And it's the next one, if I finish this one, so, which I should. And, my goal would be that by the next time that you guys see me on this vlog, that I will have all my presents wrapped and underneath the tree, my little Christmas tree, that I'll have all my cameos done for everybody to have for Christmas, because I want them to all have those on Christmas. God, I hope I can get those done today. And then all my videos up. I'm sitting here, like, as I was vlogging, I was thinking, well, maybe I'll pre-film some videos for tomorrow, or for, I mean, I don't know that I can get all that done. We'll see. I'm feeling like go, 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 go. So we'll see what I can get done today. I might at least pre-film like Peterism's videos for tomorrow and Christmas. And then let's see what else. Get down on it. Get down on it. How you gonna do it if you really don't wanna dance? With your back up off the wall. Get your back up off the wall. Tell me. So yeah, the next time you see me, I'll have all that. I'll have my presents wrapped, my cameos done, my videos filmed, the house clean, because I want a cozy house for Christmas. And the house will be smelling good, like candle waxes and all this. You guys, that smell in this car was so weird. That was so weird. And I'll have everything on my list. I've gone to Old Navy and Half Price Books and Best Buy, and I'll have everything done. And I'm super, super excited. And then Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, I just get to spend with my hubby and the dogs. I'm so excited. And eat some great food. Anyway. All right, you guys. I don't want it to end. I don't want to stop tonight. If you made it this far, please put some kind of like wintry emoji, like a snowflake or something in the comment section below, or a moon. A moon isn't really like a wintry thing, but something Christmas, Santa Claus, a snowflake, whatever you want to put. A palm tree, if you want to put a palm tree, that would be nice, wouldn't it? In the comment section below. And I have to say, we had planned on being in Mexico for New Year's. And like we were last year, but that's not gonna happen this year, so maybe next year. Maybe next year. Anyway, gonna get off here now. So put a palm tree or a or a snowflake. Palm tree or a snowflake? Would you prefer to be on a beach? If you do, then put a palm tree. Or a snowflake if you prefer the winter for the Christmas. Oh my God, the sun. Do you guys want to see the sky? It's so pretty. Look at that. Is that star that everybody's talking about? The star that the three wise men supposedly like followed? Is that it? I don't know. Anyway, so pretty this morning. I'm gonna listen to a little bit of the Mistletoe, I promise, and I'm gonna go home and get this up, and then I'm gonna start doing my other videos. So I love you guys so much, and I will see you later today or tomorrow. I love you so much. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. If nobody else told you this today, I love you. Bye. Love ya. I had to come on here and just do one more I love you. I love you guys so much. I don't know what this is. Love you. Bye. Love ya.